And I was surprised, too, and I wonder if it's for the same reason. Between 1963 and 1965, Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello, a couple of squeaky clean, enormously popular young entertainers, made a half-dozen forgettable beach party movies. They were awful. Now they've made a seventh one, a new one called Back to the Beach, and it's a terrific comedy. That's why I was surprised. It's one of the funniest, most sweetly nostalgic films I've seen in quite a while. It's very clever, a self-mocking tribute to old-fashioned 50s and 60s values. They are just before the Cultural Revolution led by the Beatles. In Back to the Beach, Frankie and Annette play themselves, a clever gimmick, only 22 years older. They're married, living in Ohio now, with their wiseacre son Bobby, who is forever ribbing his mom and pop about their long-past stardom. Yes, Annette plays her picture-perfect, always cheerful self in a polka-dot outfit. Here her son complains that she's always serving him peanut butter, a cute dig at her decade of TV peanut butter commercials.
I developed a serious identity crisis and was at the breaking point. I couldn't live like this anymore. One day I cracked. It was time to confront Mom with her problem. I'm afraid.
You're afraid of lunch? Bobby, no one's afraid of lunch.
I am, because I know exactly, unfailingly, and with an absolute certainty what's in there. It's been in there every day of my life. It's peanut butter, isn't it, Mom?
That kid is terrific. He's played by Demian Slade. As for Frankie, he's portrayed as vain about his looks, and he also thinks that surfers were more manly back in the old days.
Boy, back in my day, a surfboard was about 9 feet long, weighed about 50 pounds. Not like this sissy job.
What? The story has Frankie and Annette taking their first vacation in years back to their old stomping and surfing grounds, Malibu Beach, where they find their daughter is living with a surfer.
Sandy, if you've got a guy in there, I'm going to cut off his toes and sell him to the bait shop. Listen, this is my house, too, and it will not be driven out.
Oh, Dad, why is it crossing?
He's battering down the door with someone's head.
One of the great nostalgic moments of the film is when Frankie and Annette run into some old friends, including Connie Stevens, who still has the hots for Frankie.
20 years later, honey, you are still the best-looking thing on this beach. Somebody get me a net!
Connie, you remember Annette, huh?
Well, I didn't mean that kind of Annette.
That is just great. The decision to have Frankie and Annette and their willingness to make fun of themselves and their squeaky clean images is just one of the reasons this film is a stunning surprise. It's wonderful. The script is smart. The direction by first-time director Lyndall Hobbs, a young Australian woman who just made music videos before this, is crisp. And the best decision of all, as I said, is that Frankie and Annette have the good sense to laugh at themselves and laugh at an innocent time that is a tremendous pleasure to revisit. I had a ball with Back to the Beach.
I had a great time, too. And not only with Frankie and Annette, who were terrific, and with that little kid who was, you know, the 12-year-old punker with the leather suit on. But Connie Stevens, who looks terrific. And then, of course, there's this completely out of the blue, totally unbilled cameo performance by Pee Wee Herman, who comes flying into the picture, sings a great rock and roll song, and then disappears. And I was sitting in the theater frankly surprised, because I practically had to sign an oath in blood with Paramount Pictures before they'd let me, or for that matter you, look at this picture. They're so afraid of it, they don't want any critics to look at it. They don't want any reviews on either of the coasts, because they're afraid, on the sophisticated coast, people won't like this movie. They're crazy. This is the best movie they've had all summer. Well, practically.
I'll tell you this, it's certainly the best movie of its kind since Grease. And maybe it's better than Grease. I'd have to match it up. It is a wonderful film. I sat there flabbergasted. I thought the beach party movies, they were going to just do a retread. This movie had me howling.
It's an original film, and also it's an original musical. The musical numbers in this film, and there are a lot of them by Frankie and Annette and Connie Stevens and Pee Wee Herman and the reggae band and everybody else. It's a great musical and a lot of fun.
We loved it.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But
thank you.
More than the film company.
Thank you for clarifying that interesting point.
Both Roger and I were caught totally by surprise, pleasant surprise, by the very funny Back to the Beach. We liked it more than the studio that made it. 2 thumbs up. So really, out of complete surprise, from the back in the back, is this amazing Back to the Beach.
And you know what the funny thing is? A lot of people will not go to see it because they think they know what they're going to get. Oh, Frankie and Annette, and now they're 20 years older. I don't want to see that. They'd be amazed if they saw this film. It's got as much energy as an original musical as you can imagine.